The here is here's from an article written by Jeff Thomas. What will happen to you when the dollar collapses? Everybody's seen this. A lot of analysts are. And he says basically this. He says, I have discussed for some time that the U.S. will be prepared ahead of time with a new electronic currency. This will serve three purposes. It will allow the U.S. government to blame paper currencies for the crash in order to distract the public from recognizing that the government itself is the culprit. Two, it will allow the U.S. government to create a currency system that disallows the holding of tradable currency by the population. That is, a debit card would be created by banks through which all transactions must pass, assuring that all transactions are processed by and they're subject to the control of a bank. Three, it will allow the U.S. government to have knowledge of every penny earned and spent by any individual or organization, allowing for direct debit income taxation. That's what he believes is happening. Here's some good news. Further possibilities are taking place in Mexico today. Mexico is demonetizing silver, is remonetizing silver. A 1 ounce pure silver Libertad coin will function in parallel to and be interchangeable with the existing paper peso. Banks will value the Libertad daily based upon the silver price. Thus, Mexico will create a legal way for its citizens to protect themselves against devaluation of the peso while creating an internal protection against currency crashes in other countries. If the Mexican government remains consistent in its plan, it will do more than simply help stabilize Mexico economically. It will serve as an example to other countries that when the Goliaths of the euro and the US dollar fall, there is a very sound alternative. So we're looking at that. What Mexico's doing, they're already doing what we need to do in that area. Now, what we now have is another article from Zero Hedge. Largest bank in America joins the war on cash. In a new piece by Citi's Willem Buter, he looks at this problem, which is known as the effective lower bound, ELB, on nominal interest rates. Fundamentally, the ELB problem comes down to cash. According to Buter, the ELB only exists at all due to the existence of cash, which is a bearer instrument that pays zero nominal rates. Why have your cash, your money on deposit, at a negative rate that can reduce your wealth when you can have it in cash and suffer no reductions? Cash, therefore, gives people an easy and effective way of avoiding negative nominal rates. So banks, basically, what we're saying is this: these are people that are bankers, and they're putting it in banker terms. I have to put it in my terms. Basically, what happens is we have this situation right now in Europe. Right now, if you put money in the bank, you put the euros in the bank, you might be charged 0.07% per year to put your money there. You would lose money. That's it. So you you would lose money, but they're going to charge you that. However, if you withdraw in cash, you pull cash out of the bank, then your cost is, you're not losing money, it's zero. You're just holding cash. You're putting it under the mattress. However, what does this do to the bank? You pulled cash out of the bank, you put it under the mattress, but this becomes a bank run. Becomes a bank run. If you have paper money. This is paper and coin. Let's say that you don't have paper money and you don't have cash. and the rates are 0.07. They're negative. You're losing money. Let's say that that's the case. Well, if there's no paper and cash, how do you pull your money out of the bank? There's no bank run. You eliminate the bank run. Right. If you do pull your money out, what can you do? You can only put it in another bank. So if somebody pulls the money out of here, it just goes into another bank. And so what happens is, by eliminating, what happens is with negative interest rates, which is what they're getting us Americans ready for, we're getting America ready for negative interest rates. As you begin to pull your money out of the bank, you are going to cause the banks to fail. They're going to blame you. And cash is the problem. This paper and this cash is the problem. We've got to get rid of it. It's killing our banks. It's causing our banks to fall. Why? Because every bank only has about 8.5% of the money it's supposed to have on hand. And as they pull that 8.5% out, what about those other 92% of people? Don't they want their money too? The bank is insolvent after they pull out the first 8%. So what happens? They can't allow you to pull money out. They can't allow you, so they have to design a system. And this is why we're going to have a cashless system. We're going to have a digital money system. The only hope you might be able to get is some kind of gift card. You know, gift card where you can actually pull the money out. It's actually on a digital card, but you can't pull very much out. You can get a gift card. This is what we're coming to. That's why we need to be buying every month. Buy as many silver eagles as you possibly can, or silver talents, every month. Don't wait. Do it today. These things are happening now. When the time comes, when J.P. Morgan has basically cornered the silver market, what if there's one or two other banks that decide to do what J.P. Morgan is doing? What if a hedge fund decides to do what J.P. Morgan? What if average people start to do what J.P. Morgan is doing?
Yeah, then they'd stop.
You know, silver will go out of sight. Yes.
Well, what about putting your silver in a credit card type thing, like we've talked about?
Yeah.
Before?
Well, what happens is what we have what's called perpetual assets. Has a thing where you can buy silver bullion, store it in their warehouse, and then they will issue you a debit card against that. And every time you can use that to buy and sell, and they will take a little of that silver out of your deposit there, and they charge you a fee, some fee every time they do it, because they have to store it, insure it, and all that type of stuff. And so they charge you a fee. There's a service fee for that. But people could put, it depends on how much money you have, but if you could put $10,000 into that kind of situation, it gave you a debit card. It's a Visa debit card. And their company is called perpetualassets.com that does that, and they can set you up with that. So what we have here is we're getting ready for, and what we have to do is we get ourselves prepared for this world. You can see it's coming. It can't be very far away because J.P. Morgan doesn't want to hold this silver for years. They'd rather have their money tied up. They expect to be making really good money on this. Basically, I wrote this comment. If you don't have any cash, how do you have a bank run? If you can't pull cash out of a bank, you can't have a bank run. And you can't stuff it under your mattress somewhere. So basically what we're doing is we're looking at what they're doing in their particular areas. Let's